Missoula County Commissioners say they're in a holding pattern now on the controversial South Avenue Bridge, waiting for state and federal agencies to complete their review of the project. But after an exhaustive review of what's happened in recent years, commissioners aren't advocating paying back nearly $1 million spent on the project. Commissioners placed a hold on the replacement of the old McClay Bridge in January with concerns about the project and what role the county had in making decisions on how it would proceed. Meetings in Helena and here in Missoula delved into details with state and federal officials and HDR Engineering, which was consulting on the project. The basic upshot, the bridge project has progressed beyond the point of doing a much more detailed and expensive environmental review.
I think we have a good understanding now, more so than we did before, about the difference between categorical exclusion and what it would mean to elevate it to an environmental assessment, or what that would look like, and why that has not been the decision that has been made by the people who make the decisions. We got more clarity on the decision-making authority, which really is, for the most part, with the state at the Department of Transportation and Federal Highways Administration.
One thing that became clear in the meetings was the county being liable to pay back money spent on study and design so far. However, commissioners say that hasn't been their intent. Commissioner Dave Strohmeyer tells me neither the BCC nor myself have advocated that Missoula County would take actions that would trigger the need to pay back planning funds spent to date, or that results in a project that would necessitate destruction of people's homes at a greater cost than the proposed South Avenue Bridge. Instead, Strohmeyer says he's still interested in more environmental work, an option for rehabilitating the McClay Bridge with federal funding as an alternative, and no payback of funds spent to date.
It's a huge chunk of money to pay back the work that has already been done, and then also realizing that, well, then what do we do? Because then if we do something else, I mean, currently we have federal dollars to pay for a new bridge. We're not going to have that. And so not only would it be paying back the money that we have spent so far, which is just shy of $1 million, I think it's around $800,000, we would have to pay that back, but then also McClay Bridge is still a problem. And what do we do about that?
For now, the county will have to wait for the plans to be reviewed.
In hindsight, the county should have worked more closely with our consultant and maybe voted officially to submit those, because really it seems like an internal battle of the county not necessarily agreeing with the scope that it set in the first place. But those documents have been submitted to the deciding agencies, MDT and FHWA, and we will await their comments and see what they have to move forward.
Rowley expects the county will reach a point where it will have to decide whether to accept those plans or come up with some different approach.